is the more people that tell you something, the more you're likely to believe it.
No, I feel like you're still not quite getting it. Hold on.
I've recorded a bunch, and I have another one. Actually, I'm interviewing the girl that wrote the this book, Overcoming Biases, just in general. She wrote a whole book with another author, but I'm just interviewing one author tomorrow about biases, all the biases that we carry. So that should be interesting tomorrow. So the thing that I'm grateful I met Christine on Clubhouse, and I'm grateful for everything that I've learned on Clubhouse. I've kind of pulled back the last 2 weeks because I actually had to do work and not spend 8 hours a day on Clubhouse. But I figured out something about Descript. I was using the website version, and I'm so grateful to have found Descript because that I'm going to try tomorrow's podcast, actually using it the right way. I've just been pulling in the podcast and putting it into Script, and rather than recording with the script, like I record with Zoom, but recording with the script, it transcribes it. And there's this new thing that I learned that you can actually edit all your ums and ahs and everything out of it and actually change a word too. Like if you say the wrong word, you can, it's just like mind blowing. So I'm excited to try that tomorrow.
Are you doing all your editing?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to. I'm doing it now just so I know what the process is, but eventually I will be outsourcing that. And
you're doing audio and video?
I'm not doing video because this is a rare occasion that I actually have makeup on. I'm usually a hot, sweaty mess.
I'm literally in a sweatshirt, so
yeah. I'm in workout clothes.
He's in a garage.
Yeah,
I am.
But I don't have the time to schedule this. And then also just thinking about recording and the video and the audio, it was too much. So
I'm audio only. I don't know how people do both. It's a lot.
It's too much for me to think about right now. So eventually when I have a comfort level of the recording process alone, I might add video. But I am going to upload the audio with just an image on my YouTube channel because I have a pretty good YouTube channel. I've been doing it for 10 years. So
that's supposed to be. I've been told that I have to do that. So that's great that you already have it established. That's important. That's great. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just I was told to put a trail, like I have a trailer, and I put that on iTunes, and people warned me, it takes a couple weeks to get approved. It took like a day and a half.
Okay.
So I was a little ahead of schedule, which I guess is better than being behind.
Okay.
So so now I'm ready to launch, and I'm not sure if I want to launch one episode next Monday or if I want to launch like 3 or 4 or 5. And then my thought is, I know that when you have a lot of content, people will consume it. They're 30-minute episodes, but I also don't want people to feel overwhelmed at first, that they feel like they have to listen to them all. I'm not sure what the best strategy is, doing one but it's weekly. It will be every Monday. Just regularly.
Where else you hosted? Are you hosted everywhere? Or where are you distributed to me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I use Buzzsprout, so I'm pretty much everywhere, places that I didn't even know what they were. Yeah. I never even heard of half of these platforms. Yeah. So
I was on a meeting last night with podcasters, and they were talking about how it's Google now. So it's Apple, Spotify, and Google. Those are the top 3. And that really the way people are finding podcasts is like us talking about each other.
Yeah.
That it's like, because it was like a long meeting, and it was actually great. So the recording studio where my producer, he organized this a monthly event. He did it for the first time last night. So there are probably 15 podcasters on it. And he hired this guy named John Gray, who's got I think he's a radio guy and a podcaster. And he did an Excel kind of presentation, and the lowest things are things that you pay for. Because this is the thing, it's confusing. Like, should I pay? Do I not pay? Like, I don't know what it's worth to put money into. But like the first 4 things to get people was really free stuff. And the 4th one was really just, I talk nice about your podcast for 5 minutes, and you talk nice about my podcast. And then that's how people are finding them.
Yeah. I'm in a lot of industry, like Facebook groups for like different fitness pros and like also
Yeah, that's
just
the
health
best,
at every size. And so just promoting it in there and talking up. And then that's where I got some of my guests as well. And I have a email list, like I own a physical brick and mortar studio and I have an online program. So all those people
you got a
too
network.
are excited to listen and share. Every guest is required to share, rate, and review. So I learned that on Clubhouse. That was
Or
helpful.
else. Oh,
A few of my guests have been podcasters and they have been wonderful because they get it. And they also like just the interview themselves. Like one person I interviewed was great, like on paper, and I know of her from speaking at a fitness conference, but she basically spoke for 30 minutes straight. And I'm like, I didn't want to interrupt, but the other people, it was conversational. So I learned a
You knew
lot
how to
from
do a
that.
conversation on Zoom.
Yeah.
That's good. It's like,
Yeah. So it's interesting. I like interviewing the people that already have a podcast. They made it easy for me.
What is the name of your show?
The Breaking Body Biases podcast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So I have that website too, Breaking Body Biases, and that's how I've gotten guests too, and where I host all like the signups for it. And I guess I'll put the podcast on the website, like
so it's
as a blog, like a.
I just
the 30
connected-
minutes. I don't know. I kind of like the idea, like when you first start, just to start with like there's 3 out there, even though it's really your first one. I don't know, just to kind of visually, it looks kind of nice just for you to be like, look what I've done already. And then they say the consistency is really important, so that you're going to do it every week is really important, because it's like a head game. Like if you expect it to be there and then like one Thursday you miss it or 2 Thursdays you miss it, then people are like,
They forget about you
apparently.
quickly.
Yeah. And I was on this thing today talking about fan base, which they were really talking about artists, but I guess that's kind of with the same thing with podcasts, like whoever reach, just being really good about connecting with the people who are connecting with you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is Fanbase just like a social media app?
No, there's like just literally, I was on Clubhouse and they're talking about your fan base.
Conversation about
Like-
engaging with your fan base.
Yeah, but she would talk like how, like she would take an artist who I don't really understand the music world. I was just curious, it's like a random room. But they were talking about, how they'd had an artist and they would bring him, if they knew this guy had a fan base or a fan in Brooklyn or wherever the people were, they would make sure to set up shows as easy as it was to make these fans feel really special. And then the fans are what's gonna connect the next level of people back to you. So
Yeah. When it comes to launching your show, Christine, it's 2 episodes plus your trailer. So
Okay.
that's like the format that works for most people. So there's 2 episodes worth binging, the trailer, so people get the idea of it. And then if you're going to release every Monday, it's just scheduling your content to go out on Buzzsprout every Monday at the same time. So if you can, I don't know if they have a scheduling tool.
I have to look into that because I know that I got something from them yesterday that they had some kind of I don't remember if it was like somebody tried to crash their servers or whatever.
yeah.
And yeah, something weird. I didn't fully read it because I've been busy with other stuff. Because I have just had a webinar with my instructors an hour ago, and then I have an event tonight. So that's why I have makeup on for the one day this month.
It's not for us.
No. Just you wait. You're gonna see a frightful sight post workout. But I have to look into like, because they were saying that there's delays in release and stuff. So I'm not sure if that means that if I were to just say I wanted to launch on Monday, if I were, and say tomorrow is Monday.
Yeah.
If I upload it now, it may not launch tomorrow. So I have to look into that. That's my plan for tomorrow, or actually Thursday.
But your trailer's up now?
Yeah, the trailer's all up.
Well, if you guys want to, do you want to find our show and subscribe?
Oh, that's so nice.
Feel comfortable?
Yeah, remind me the title again?
Breaking Body Biases.
Christine, are you interested in possibly interviewing disabled folks who are interested in working out?
Yes, because inclusion, like I speak a lot about creating inclusive spaces, and that includes ableness, like not just weight. We do have a large focus on weight stigma, but ability would definitely be something that I'd be interested in talking about as
I'm
well.
gonna send you a message on Zoom. There's an account that I connected with on Instagram, called Handy Capable Fitness, and I met him on Clubhouse a couple weeks ago or something like that, and I think he would probably be interested in being a guest. I'm also a little person and I'm athletic. So if you ever want to interview a little person, I'm available and interested.
Yeah.
He surfs. He's going to teach me how to surf.
Yeah, let's go. Tomorrow. Might go tomorrow. Small waves.
Maybe not
Guys
tomorrow.
are
Like, I need to
torturing
plan
me.
it in advance a little more than that. But
It's snowing here. Stop
Yeah,
talking
I was
about
just
surfing.
I was just about to say I'm a little jealous. It's
I know.
cold and snowy here.
so Christophe and I are on the West Coast, but Joyce, Jessica, and Christine, you guys are all on the East Coast.
Yeah. The
Jessica,
northern.
Where are you, Jessica?
I'm in New York. I'm in Long Island.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
in Philadelphia. Where are you, Joyce?
Cambridge, Mass.
Oh, Massachusetts.
Nice. I'm going to be in Philly this weekend visiting my brother.
Oh, nice. I'm in the suburbs, so
Oh yeah.
right
I
outside of Philly.
don't know exactly where my brother is, but it's in Philly proper. But yeah, no, I love hearing all of your, I feel a little bit left out of these strategies for growth because my podcast is not really an interview podcast. And Christine and I did like look at, I have occasionally interviewed some of my clients, and as far as like organic growth, like having them share, having them talk about it, like it feels like it's just like me against the world, you know? But I occasionally will interview my clients, and they are the most listened to episodes. And it's hard to know really whether that's because people like them the most or because they're shared the most. So it's,
I can tell in my network. So I've interviewed like 75 people at this point, and I can literally see who has bigger networks. Like, I can see it on the graphics, the people who are really into social media, and I can see you can see it. Like, and there are people who don't share it, obviously, but the people with the biggest networks, their friends all listen to it, and it's definitely a thing.
Yeah. So I guess like for me, I'm like most interested in figuring out the best organic like growth strategy for a podcast that is not interview based, where it is just like kind of me promoting like an educational like topic that day, right? And how to
That's like a fan base thing, right? You just have to have people who like.
yeah. And I feel like, it slowly gains more like super fans, but then like the attrition is also like a part of it naturally just happening as well. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel
What
a
is
little
your
bit.
show, Jessica?
Yeah, so it's called the What's Happening podcast, HAPPYNING, and it is about how business isn't personal, but it is emotional. So I talk about all of the, I'm a life coach and a business coach. So I talk about how like feelings are in the mix with business, and how to kind of like create feelings as fuel for creating results in your business.
That's
and
great.
all that. Yeah.
He's a happiness scientist.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a nice thing to be.
It's so fun. I'm not gonna lie.
No, you shouldn't. Oh my God, you're happy. I mean, it's not even.
Yeah, it's so funny. Christine and I were just talking about this today, though, about how like such a fallacy, because the truth is that like one of the things that I discovered in all of the research that I've done on happiness is that like the point of life is not to be happier. It's actually like to be more in depth into the human experience, which is 50% positive emotion, 50% negative emotion.
Yeah, that's for like, like being in the moment. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes the moment sucks, but you just got to live in it, because if you don't, yeah.
Totally. Resisting it, the alternative, doesn't create better emotions.
So yeah, so there's another, I I was into like Clubhouse for the past hour. There was a room on vulnerability. And that idea that, you know, when you are vulnerable, that's when you're actually able to do whatever needs to be done. And they're talking about being open with your kids, like how much you share with your kids. And they're talking a lot about divorce parenting. And I was a divorce lawyer. I was never divorced. But this is always such the issue. Like I counseled my clients to be more open with their kids, but everyone wanted to pretend like stuff was okay. And I'm like, I know stuff is not okay. Like, and your kids feel it. Like, even if they don't, if you're not talking about it, they feel it, right? So the idea.
I feel like eavesdropping on mine and Christine's conversation, like right before this call, we were talking about allowing room for your kids to feel that 50-50, like they're not exempt as well. And we try and like protect them and say like, no, I just want my kid to be happy. Well, actually that's like kind of a dangerous thought, right? Because then like you're trying to solve for your kid to not feel that negative emotion. And by proxy, you're like lying to them a lot of the time. I'm actually a divorced mom as well. So yeah.
Your show sounds really
I do a cannabis podcast, so I went from divorce law to cannabis, and my joke is that I'm not earthy crunchy. I didn't believe in intentions. I never manifested anything ever. And now in this cannabis world, I'm like, every divorce should start with an intention. We should start, like, you could actually be nice to each other. It didn't even occur to me. Like, that is not the way that works. And it's never, ever in the best interest of the children, which is the saddest thing ever. And divorce attorneys are hired to fight your fight. And if you want to fight, we do it for you, which is just so unhealthy and bad. So the cannabis world is much nicer.
Yeah, we actually didn't hire lawyers. We went through a mediator. I have a very amazing, incredible relationship with my ex-husband. It's very lovely. So yes, I can only say positive things about my divorce experience. It was pretty amazing.
You're untangling or what do they call it? What is it?
Yeah, uncoupling. I know what got like slammed for that term, but that's how I would describe my experience of it as well.
Well, the idea that you're going to have a relationship forever, and people have kind of forget that.
Totally.
I did try to do collaborative law at the end where we were nicer to each other, but people don't always buy into it. So
anyway, sorry, I totally derailed this call, but so my podcast is on all those things, and I think I'm subscribed to Christophe's, and now I'm subscribed to Christine's, but Joyce, what is your podcast?
Called The Canna Mom Show.
So you're gonna have to spell that. The Canna Mom?
Yeah, CANNAMOM Show.
And Joyce interviews women in the cannabis industry.
Yeah, I'm not the canna mom. That's the joke. Like, I am not the canna mom.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, my sister-in-law like cousin-in-law works it's my cousin's wife, and she does like graphics for the cannabis industry in Chicago. And so I'll connect you with her.
Oh yeah, please. Yeah. I just Clubhouse has been amazing for that. I go into a lot of cannabis rooms, but I kind of forget I'm a podcaster. Like this is how I found Christine, because I'm like, I should go to a podcast room. That could be useful. Like, so yeah, this is really, I learned a lot about podcasting and cannabis simultaneously. The podcast is like, it's a thing now, it exists, and now I'm marketing it. That's been the hardest part. I actually I hired a Northeastern University intern. She started this week to help with sales and to reach out to other podcasts. That's my other thing that, I was thinking about it before, but this makes more sense, that I got to connect with other podcasts and podcasts connect with me, and that's how it's going to grow. And I've interviewed a lot of women with podcasts, and there's a lot of people. I live in Massachusetts, so like last week I felt really bad. Remember, I talked to that marketing person, and she made me feel really small, and I was sad. Yeah. Anyway, so I regrouped and decided that small wasn't bad, and that I was local, and that I should focus on Massachusetts. And that's how I started kind of formulating the whole, like, I got to connect with more podcasts, and then everything keeps reasserting that this is the right thing to do. So
Jean's hiring a co-op. I went to Northeastern.
So did I.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah.
I've always had them. So I've had co-ops. I've had 5 co-ops. Or 5 interns, the name co-ops.
Everybody should do that on here. Just like hire a co-op. There's just like free, smart people that are stumbling through trying to find a good experience. And you just like hire them all as and give them college credit for it. So good.
Wait, I need that. I need that right now.
Northeastern
seriously,
University. Just check them
I
out.
need that right now. How do I get that?
You can literally go and contact Northeastern University co-op program, and there's like a whole like student body that is just like looking and applying for their co-ops, especially in COVID right now. There are less opportunities there. And if they see a very interestingly pitched opportunity, like they might just be able to apply directly through the school. I know there's some companies that set up like, it's so smart. They're just like, it's a 6-month thing. You can pay them whatever you want. Some co-ops are like unpaid entirely. Some of them, you can pay them whatever you'd be willing to pay someone. But they're really looking for college credit. They have to do it anyway. And they're like fully available for it. So
Christine,
have
I
to
need that, right?
I am all about that. I actually, something I wanted to chat with you guys about to see what your thoughts were on this is I have a bunch of interns who have reached out to see if they wanted to work with Bright-Sighted due to COVID. And I haven't like onboarded anyone yet because like there's so many, and it would take a lot of time and effort for me to mentor all these kids. So I was thinking if I just was like, kind of wanted to see if it would be something that people who were in here would be interested in. Like, would you be comfortable being paired with a student to perhaps
what do they want to do?
the workload, take off some of your workload, but you would have to mentor them like it's a relationship.
I'm a mom. I can do anything. Yeah. I raised humans. I'm good.
yeah, what?
I'm definitely interested in hearing more about that because
Okay.
I mean, if somebody else is more apt at social media than I am, and even if they do it for a month or two and I can learn from them and I can teach them what I know, I'm 100% interested because that might help me streamline, how I do my stuff after they, go and get paid somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've done this before, is hire interns. I just have been like, if I were to hire more than one and like send them around, I would be like sharing the responsibility of mentorship. So I'll share a sign up list with you guys, and you'd also want to like be mentored with the right person, right? You would want to feel like I like this person, they like me, they get my gist.
Well,
and
I think that's the big fear that I have is, are you going to get matched up with somebody who has a completely different skill set than what you actually need? Or who isn't interested in what you need and has a brilliant skill set in something else?
Yeah. Well, I'll send out a sign up sheet just in the general Slack, or I'll send it in email, whatever more comfortable for everybody. And then you can just let me know if it's something you're interested in or not. And then I'll like, as I'm interviewing people, will touch base with you.
What are they reaching out to you for? What do they want to do? The people who are.
So I listed I'm going to stop. I'm starting to like run out of breath. Yay! I listed.
I'm just saying.
I've been sitting just straight for the past 2 hours, and I just was like feeling so antsy. I listed an internship for podcasting and social media marketing, and only for journalism students. So the only people who I'm taking is people who have backgrounds in journalism. I have a bunch of different resumes in a folder in my Google Drive. So I've been looking at them and I was like, do I want to like follow up? Do I not? Like, I could probably take on one intern myself. I don't want to like.
So they think, is this for like the summer or is this for now? When do they want to work?
I think it'd be for now.
No, okay.
So, so I wanted
awesome,
to,
Christine.
okay, great. I'll send out a list and just we'll see if it's a good fit. But I wanted to check back in with you, Christine, just to see how you're feeling, if there's anything coming up for you with this launch. Like, do you have any questions? Do you have any fears? Is there anything you want to talk about? I know for me, when I was like first launching my own show, I had all sorts of stuff come up for me. So
No, actually, not really. I mean, I had a lot of questions. Clubhouse helped a lot because I felt like there were so many like I think I just overdid it with Clubhouse though. So many like little strategies, a lot of conflicting things.
Yeah.
I'm glad I switched. I'm really happy with Buzzsprouts because I feel like it was just a little cleaner for me to get everything set up. So I'm glad I took my time. I've had a lot of. I feel like even though I'd made the decision like yesterday to launch next Monday, I've been in like launch mode for a while. So I have a lot of people like, when's it going? When's it coming? When's it coming? So I have
That's
a lot
good.
of buzz
That's really good. That's good.
that way. And again, I'm not launching it without a list. Like I have an email list and I have, I just have to get all the editing done this week and all the extra little things that's like, you don't think about, like just getting the show notes up and the transcription and just getting all the promo, like going in Canva and doing all the, I'm good at batching stuff because I already have 2 businesses. So I feel like just batching out all like the Instagram posts for weeks for every, and there was something else I had to look at. I probably won't do it till next week, but there's a site that you put you can put little sound bites in and
Audiogram is good. Yeah.
Audiogram. So it's things like that. Like there's some stuff that I'm just not going to get to. You said audiogram.
Yeah, that's so we do an audiogram every week. I have tried to do all this. I don't know how it works, but those are like the most popular things. It's like a 30 to 60 second snippet, but you can repurpose in lots of ways because it's supposed to be like the moment in the show, like thing that you want to like talk about the show. And that is definitely how I get the most attention, I guess. It's more than my downloads, but it's when you want to talk to somebody about, they want to be connected to the show, you could say, I have thousands of engagements every week. And a lot of them are the audiogram. People love those. And supposedly audiograms are really good on Pinterest, which I haven't done yet, but I sort of set it up this week. No.
Audio. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I see. I wrote down that link. I think it's just not just knowing, and because I've launched other products and programs before that I know I'm not going to have it perfect. I'm not going to have everything aligned, right? Like I was waiting for, okay, I have a 30-day course I wanted to have ready, like as a offer at launch. It's not going to be ready by Monday. And if I keep waiting, this is going to wait because I said launching, we were going to launch this podcast in October. And then I got an opportunity to speak at a conference that kind of had to take all my focus, and then the holidays and all that. Then, and of course, like I have a gym during a pandemic. It's not ideal. So then I said, okay, we're launching in winter, and it's slowly not going to be winter. Like it's like March is Monday. So I on our promotions, I changed all that launching in October to launching in winter 2020, like in winter. And I started to realize I'm not changing those graphics again to like spring, or I mean, it's going to be forever. So I thought I just got to do it. So I know that there might be things that I have to.
You're really set up though. It sounds like if you heard how I launched.
Christine, do you feel comfortable sharing how many people are on your list?
I think I've got like 2,500 on my email list. And then my social media, just under 5,000 on our YouTube page, and and again, like
that's exciting.
Yeah, so like that's where I want to focus some of the attention on YouTube, even though I'm not doing video. But
it's a good place for it to be. So I think that's good that you have that already.
Yeah. And that's how, like I said, it's not the first, if this would have been the first thing I did, but like opening the studio and having my online site is 10 years old. It'll be 10 years this summer. So I've been building it. And I actually would have had a lot more people on my email list, but I used to use Infusionsoft and I switched, and somewhere along the line, I lost I had like 5,000 people on my email list, and somewhere it got lost. Yeah, it was really bad. Like in the switch. So
how's it been there with the health? I mean, people coming to the gym? What's going on there? Is it masking, a lot of masking?
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky to be open. I know a lot across the country, they're not allowed to be open. So we're allowed to be open. We do a hybrid class. So we have a Zoom going on like this. I have a
That's
whole
nice.
Zoom setup. More people go to Zoom than in studio. So tonight, I think I have 5 people coming in to my night class and probably like 10, 20 people on the Zoom.
Oh, that's
And we
good
have like
though.
a morning class tonight. Yeah, it's just not the volume. Like it's
So you,
just
are you
people
gonna,
don't want to do Zoom workouts and people don't want to do this.
well, because I play tennis and I find it hard to breathe after.
Yeah, you get used to it.
I get used to it, but I don't know if I could. I do, I wear it and everybody has to wear it, but I
And
know
then
it-
many people don't feel comfortable, even if they get used to how to breathe in it. It's not 100%. Like you could still transmit it, get it, give it, even with this. Like it's not 100%. So most of my clients, especially the older clients, don't feel comfortable until they're vaccinated. And then, gosh, Pennsylvania is not doing well in that area.
I'm in Massachusetts. I don't know
I
what's
still
going on.
can't get my 80-year-old parents, and I can't get them an appointment because you have to go online to get it at 4:30 in the morning on a Friday.
Yeah,
So it's not good.
sorry,
So hopefully by 2021,
but that's what you think.
I mean 2022.
Are you gonna keep all the Zoom stuff when whatever life comes back? Do you think Bill's gonna keep doing
Throughout the rest of the year, we're starting to see an increase. Like a lot of our healthcare workers, they're vaccinated.
Okay.
So they're starting to feel like, oh, I'll come in now. And some of our seniors that have gotten their first vaccination, they're like, when I get my second one, like a month later, I'll be ready to come in again. But it's going to be a long road to getting everybody vaccinated. And I think our plan is for at least through the summer, most likely through the fall. And I don't know how 2022 is going to be, but we'll continue what we're doing. Eventually, when more people are in the studio and there's like a handful of people on Zoom, we'll have to change and just do some kind of live streaming. What we used to do is, because we did this before the pandemic, which helped us switch, we had recorded live classes and posted them on our on-demand site for people that were like vacationing. And
Oh, nice.
so they won't get the interaction like you do in a Zoom, but they'll at least get recorded workouts. So we'll go back to that. Now we have like 600 workouts available to clients. Yeah. I mean, you figure we do a couple workouts a day and they're all up now. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have a good library now.
That's awesome. So you're outside of Philadelphia? Where are you?
Right outside of Philadelphia. We're the suburb bordering the city.
Okay.
So there's a new movie coming out in March with Jeremy Piven. And that's about the guy that wrote it. It went to my high school. He was 2 years older than me, and he lives on what's called the main line. It's like the fancy part. We're on the line of the main line, but he wrote this, and it's about my hometown. So check it out, and you'll.
Oh, cool.
If you know Tina Fey, she went to my high school. So
Did they use your location?
Tina Fey.
No, I know. I love Tina Fey.
actually, my dad and her dad were very good friends. So.
Oh, wow.
But she's older than me. But the town that they call in the movie is, what do they call the town in the movie? Darby Heights. But Upper Darby is the town that, like, the township, and Clifton Heights is like another town that's like in the township. So they're calling it Darby Heights. I don't know why they decided not to call it Upper Darby, but Delco is like the part of the, like, Tina Fey always refers to Delco. Hey, I have an instructor coming in, so I've got to step away for a minute.
Oh, it's all right. Christophe, how are things going? Good? Are you stressed? You had another episode coming out.
New episode came out yesterday. And I'm behind on the socials on that one. And I'm behind promoting some episodes that I was on. So I got to do that, but I'm almost finished with my first draft of the article, and I have 4 sources for that. And I feel I'm like 75% of the way finished with the article. And then I recorded my interview for the audio story yesterday, and I have so much to edit. Oh my God.
How long did you talk?
An hour and a half,
And it's supposed to be 20 minutes?
8
Wow.
minutes.
Oh, 8.
But this
Thank
guy,
God.
just, he couldn't get, I think I told you Allie had trouble getting her thoughts out. This guy was more disjointed than Allie was. I'm gonna spend forever editing this. It's gonna take, I don't know. I hope it sounds smooth. That's the only thing I'm worried about, because he just, I don't know.
Something that I would do as a journalist when I had to like turn content really fast
Yeah.
would be like transcribing stuff myself instead of like just sending it in to get transcribed somewhere, actually like listening through it and then like transcribing the good parts. So like I would know like if like something wasn't good and I would just kind of like go by it. But when all the good stuff happens, you kind of like your ear picks up on it. And so you can like write that stuff down and just like give yourself time just to transcribe. Don't focus on writing it, just focus on the transcription and like getting all of the good sound bites like in your head. And something that happens to you through that like transcribing yourself process is you'll end up writing the piece. You'll be like, oh, this is a good 7 minutes. This is a good 7 minutes. This is where this chunk goes into this chunk. And so it'll like you'll end up solving your problem yourself, but you just have to give yourself like plan like these 2 hours. I'm just going to sit down and transcribe. That's it. No distractions. Turn off your phone, turn off Clubhouse.
They have
Never.
You turn off Clubhouse.
I have not been on today.
No, I'm joking. Thankfully they have an account with Otter, so it's already transcribed. I kind of think what I'm going to do is take it a step further and listen at 1.5 speed.
Okay.
And because I kind of think I can go through it even faster and get what I want. Also another thing, this was a fun moment. He couldn't find a voice memo recorder on his phone to do a double ender. And so he had to download another app on his phone and he has an Android. And so I don't know, I guess maybe he got some knockoff voice recorder thing. And we're talking and he actually knocked the phone onto the floor. And I was like, wait, what just happened? Did the phone fall down? And he said, yeah, that was the phone. And I was like, well, we're going to need to pick that up actually. So the microphone is by you so I can hear you. And he goes, oh, okay, I'll go get it. And so he had to go on the floor to get the phone. Then he sends me the file and I can preview it in Finder, but I can't import it into Audition, Premiere, Audacity, iTunes. I get an error message. He sent me an MP3, but I get an error message whenever I try to put it into those DAWs. And I had some corrupt audio before for something, and there was this crazy workaround that I found that worked in Audacity. Like you had to select the file and then like change it in Audacity, manipulate it in Audacity, and then output it in some way. And it actually recovered some of my audio from something, but I have no clue what this, I actually sent the file. I just sent the file to my contact at iPonder and said, I have the Zoom recording, so I'm not totally lost. And I think it might sound better or at least the same because he had like a pilot's headset for the whole thing. But yeah, have you ever run into that? Like getting an Android file that would not, I feel like he got some knockoff thing that you have to pay for and he just used the free version and they maybe encrypted it in some way that you can't use it on.
Made it difficult to convert. I would maybe try like transferring it.
I was thinking of like trying to send it through another compressor to myself,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm an iPhone user, so I don't.
I know, me too.
You do you have a thought, Steve?
Yeah.
My husband is standing over. He's like, I know Androids.
Well, can you
Steve, Hi,
can
Steve.
you actually listen to the file? Can you hear it?
I can preview it in Finder, but when
Sure.
I try to bring it into a DAW or a video editor or
Uh-huh.
iTunes, I get an error corrupt file message. And it's not. I've had this issue before where it actually shows up as 0 kilobytes,
Uh-huh.
and this is
Oh.
this is a full. It has size to it. It's like it's the right size of the file, so it's not corrupt, but I just feel like it's encrypted in some weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
The first thing I would do is try to just do a quick Google search for like online audio converter. And usually you'll find these free little websites where you can go to upload your file and then re-export it into a different format. So maybe you
Okay.
can export it into a WAV file, or just even try to maybe export it into another MP3 version.
Yeah.
That might just fix it for you if that works. Otherwise, worst case scenario, you could always use a screen recorder on your computer, and it should just take all the audio that you can hear. But you just have to sit there and record for, however long the audio file is
Right.
to recapture that. Yeah.
That's a workaround.
Oh, she's so cute.
Aw, thank you.
No, that's a great idea. Thank you so much for that.
I was gonna give you a tool that I've used. It's a and you might already know about this. Where is it? It is a recording tool for your phone where you like call someone and you record the whole call on your phone.
Okay. I've heard of it. I've heard of those, but I haven't used it.
Where is it? Oh, here it is. It needs to re-download on my phone. My phone updated. So how it works is like you start recording, then you have to call a number, and like the number records the call. So you have to like have the permission of the person before you do it.
Is that Ringer? Is that Ringer? Because I've used Ringer.
No, it's a free app. I just thought maybe it would work if like there was like an Android iPhone where if you just wanted to be like, oh, I have the files.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to worry about you. I have them because I record them.
I just got a message that they were able to pull the file into Hindenburg.
Okay.
And she's going to export it and send it to me. So that's cool.
There you go.
I also won a thing for Hindenburg, but I never tried it.
I've heard a lot of people really like it. I've never used Hindenburg.
It looks like it's cool.
It's an editing software.
I watched the video, like the tutorial on it, and it seemed like it was cool. It seemed like it was pretty straightforward.
It's a bad name.
Okay.
I agree. I think it's a weird name too. I don't know.
Weird name.
It's like you would have named something the Titanic. People would be like, oh wow,
Exactly.
You mean this editing software is going to crash on me when I need it most and want to have a backup?
Titanic
is, that's a great idea.
Titanic is for motion graphics.
It's called Tape-a-Call.
Tape-a-Call.
It looks like this.
Bullseye.
So yeah, if you wanna check it out, it's free.
Did I don't know if I should mention this on a recorded Zoom. Did you get a?
Should I pause?
Email from, oh, I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Did you get an app? Did Jared send you an app?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of. My email?
Yes.
Let me check. Well, Jared is the co-founder of Podcast Movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Following that.
Podcast Movement is, yeah.
In
It's good.
case you missed it, We announced yesterday that Mark Cuban is the keynote speaker. That's the last thing I have from him. So, and I think that's just from his normal email list. So maybe you got something special
I got something special. I
and
did.
secret.
Maybe
Can you
it's
talk
secret.
about it?
I don't know. I haven't. He sent me an app. He sent me like a podcasting app thing.
Okay.
I don't know. He said Mark Cuban is backing it. Maybe I'm speaking. Maybe I'm saying.
Oh,
too
are you talking
much.
about Fireside?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm aware of Fireside. It's a lot like Clubhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I actually think they're going to be competing with each other. Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I know. Fireside is trying to monetize more quickly than Clubhouse is. Seeing Clubhouse is still in beta. Fireside is actually, they recently went to court. Because there's another like person who has the trademark, or not the trademark, but the title mark for Fireside. And so there was a legal issue there. So anyway, something to just kind of keep your eyes out for Fireside. It's a new app. You probably got a beta version, which if it's anything like Clubhouse, you should use it, promote the crap out of your podcast and get as many downloads as you possibly can, as soon as you can. Because
remember when there was a new app like every other 2 months? or maybe 3 months.
We've been in quarantine for almost a year, just in time for all these new apps to be developed to solve the quarantine's problems.
I'm getting too old for this.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm actually feeling really good. I feel a sense of, I didn't realize that it would go so quickly writing this article, and I feel a really good sense of accomplishment as you know, with all that I've done. And I don't think I think the audio story is going to be, I'm like so used to doing that already. That's going to be pretty easy. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good.
So what Christophe is talking about is he got these gigs through a connection he made with India, right? Both of them?
Yeah, India sent a
Who's also in this
breakdown.
group.
Okay.
For iPonder.
India sent a breakdown for a little person looking to create an audio story about a little person. And I'm like, well, it's probably me. And then they were also looking for someone to write an article about little people. And I said, well, all right, I want to do that too.
Good for you.
So yeah, it's kind of, this isn't what I normally do, writing articles, but it's.
No one's doing anything they normally do now. That's like,
what's that?
Nothing's normal. Nobody does anything they normally do. We're all
Nothing has ever been normal, actually. To tell
that's
you the
true.
truth.
Good point.
Yeah, I agree. That's the fun of it all. It's never normal. So
Never.
So I have a deadline in like a week, and yeah, feels good. I'm ready. Let's do it. And I got the very first cut. All right, I'm just gonna. There's a lot going on, actually. I just got the very first rough cut of the mini documentary. Christine, I told you about this, but I got the very first mini rough cut of this mini documentary that was made about me and surfing and drumming and my podcast and all that stuff. And yeah, kind of got me emotional. It kind of hit me pretty hard. So that kept me up last night for a little. I called the producer and we had a long talk about like stuff and the future. And so, yeah, it's been a long time, I feel like, since there's been a lot of good stuff happening. And so, I don't know, when it comes, it kind of comes all at once, I guess, on either side.
Do you feel comfortable sharing it? I'd love to see it.
I probably wouldn't share this cut just because it's so
rough or new.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've seen it, but it's I'm it's incredible. I'm so excited for it. Like, it has amazing shots of me surfing and archival footage of me drumming and in all the places that I've drummed on stage and on TV and movies and stuff. And then, teaching someone surfing, and then also, me recording on the podcast and, and like showing off my scars and like my body and stuff like that. So it's just like this. And my mom, they took segments of the interview that I did with my mom about me and stuff. So there's a lot of holes that need to be filled in. But yeah, that's what I can share at the moment.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. It feels really good. So.
So I had a question for Christine about, so do you have a website for your podcast already?
Yeah. So it's, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Clients in here now, so I have to keep this on. Yes, it's the title of my podcast, breakingbodybiases.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
and it's already live.
Yes, but it's only the front page that's doing anything. Like, do you want to be a guest or do you want to subscribe? And I put the trailer there. So I did get probably about 40 or 50 people that signed up for being the first to know when we go live. Maybe a little bit more. But a lot of those were people that are already on my email list. They just wanted to be the first to know about that. And then there's also a place for guests to apply to, and they get sent to a page to put in their information and stuff. And then on the back end, I do have a blog, the blog build out, because I use Kajabi. So Kajabi has, that's where I hold all my membership site stuff. So yeah, so I can put that is one big thing that I have to do, is get that finished.
Got it.
But that won't take long. I say that now, but I'll be spending all day Sunday doing it.
So, Christine, do you post your show notes in Buzzsprout, or do you post them on your website?
I guess I'll be doing both. For right now, the only thing that's up is my trailer. So there's no notes or transcript for that. I mean, I guess I could do a transcript for it, but the other episodes are just sitting ready to be, some are still require editing, and some I'm filming this week. And then again, I'm going to go with that I think what I'm going to do is, that's only, I think the one thing I've been putting off is, I think of the 3 episodes, there's 2 that I have to put up on Monday. One will be, I'll just have to select whatever one I want to lead with, but I think I'll do my solo episode that kind of talks about my story, my history with eating disorders, and why I'm in my struggles in the fitness world, dealing with all that, and then why I decided to start the podcast. So I'm on here. Sorry. Welcome. Have a good class. Yeah, so I think that's the one I have to record, and I have to get out of my trailer didn't take me long, but it was shorter. Hey. So I think that I have to figure out some time this week to film. I have a lot of notes written out for that, and I don't want to seem as scripted as the trailer, that I'm reading. I read what I wrote for the trailer, in a very speaking kind of way, not reading.
Can you have somebody interview
I don't
you?
want the
Christine, can you have somebody interview you?
I don't know if I'll have the time to do that.
All right.
I don't know especially with COVID and stuff here, I can't have someone sitting in the same room with me here.
Because I'm sure, because you know your story, so I think if you just gave questions to someone else, you wouldn't have to worry about writing it all out. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would seem more natural.
I think I might go with bullets, so I stay on track. Because I've done it every time I drive my car from studio to home, or I pretend I'm filming it, and it's quite different every single time. I like to talk to myself, so
that's how I do it.
I should be recording that. I should record it in the car.
I tried to do that
And
and I
then-
just tossed that away so hard. I'm like, this is, I can't do that. This is terrible. I have to write a script.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think I might, like, even when I do, like, I just did a teacher training, like a teacher webinar, I I have bullets, but then I tend to write out a couple more things, and it just is, it kind of makes it clear in my head the way
Yeah.
I want it to go. So I
Yeah,
just
that's
have to
fine.
do it, and
Yeah.
then it be good enough. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. And now I can take out all the ums and ahs and all that stuff. I
I'm
mean, that's what editing. It's not
Script,
live.
yeah.
So.
my brain is going right now. And if
Oh.
you, oh, I was gonna say something.
I had a great thought. Oh my God.
I don't know if she
She's
can.
back.
I can still hear you. I just have to set up the Zoom for the class that's
Oh.
starting live right now.
Okay, cool. If and when you want Christine with the Body podcast, I can I have so many ideas and contacts. If you were to want to do a series on little people, I know of so many little people that work out, male, female. The woman that I just interviewed who had limb lengthening, she's a yogi. I think there's so much that can be discussed. I mean, and that would be a great series on disability and dwarfism and athletics because it's a thing.
And that's like a shared audience thing. Like you can promote. That's a good. That's an easy show for you to promote. Obviously, it makes sense. So
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, well, I'm just, yes, absolutely. I'm also thinking of just these friends of mine that deserve to have their stories
yeah, but
told.
you want their stories heard, so you got to make the audience big.
Thank you. I heard the first half of that and then the blaring music in there. I couldn't hear anything.
So I was just saying my brain is going. I have a bunch of ideas and contacts for if you wanted to do a series on little people and dwarfism in athletics. I know so many people. There's a woman that I know who I just interviewed her for my show. She's had limb lengthening and she's a yogi. Other people are really into weight training. And there's, there are a lot of limitations, but there are a lot of things that people don't think little people can or should be able to do. And people are kind of squashing those stigmas. So I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yes, absolutely. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it.
So this Friday, Joyce and I are doing a Clubhouse together. And one of the things we usually sign off about now, but I realized we didn't get a chance to talk about this yet. And I did want to mention it to you as well, Christine, if you want to do like a Clubhouse or co-moderate something next week for the launch of your show.
That's a great idea.
Get people excited and maybe send people that way. We could perhaps plan something next week, Monday or Tuesday. So
what time on Friday? I have 4 calls on Friday.
In
the afternoon.
I think it's at like 2 or 3 my time and a little later over there.
I'll pop in if I can. I know I have a couple.
Is it like 1 o'clock your time? 4 o'clock my time?
Yep. Joyce, what did you want to talk about? Do you have anything like specifically in mind or?
No, I mean, I talk about politics and religion. That's what I talk about. So.
PPR.
Well, I'm just thinking if we were to drop into like different podcasting rooms, I mean, we could go like podcasting, we could go cannabis, we could go health and wellness.
I always go the mom angle. I mean, you are the mom, so that's.
I am a mom.
And this is everyone wants to talk about this now. Like
I've only ever done cannabis once, though.
We don't have to talk about cannabis and momming, just like momming in general. That's really what I am. I know how to mom. That's my great skill. I don't know. I mean, the women in business. I sit in a lot of women in business rooms now, and I mean, my kids are grown, so I'm not going through this. But I don't know how you guys are doing it. And the idea that, I mean, that whole vulnerability room I was in. you know, we had to keep up a certain facade, obviously, but you guys are all home with your kids and they can just see everything that's going on, and you have to be able to like connect with them. I don't know. It's like you're marrying. You're obviously, hi, little baby. Hello. Yes. You know, you're mirroring back what they're going to experience, and you're going to have to, I don't know. So you're going to help us too. I don't know. I just.
This is his world.
Aw.
And you
This
were
is
able
how
to,
you
know,
mom and have a business.
yeah, and you were able to, I mean, you're still there. I don't know. I hear all these stories and I'm not in it yet. And I thought it was difficult when my kids were little. So this is like one of my favorite topics. You know, I don't have any advice, but I can tell people you will survive, and just keep your sense of humor. And cannabis has helped now. My son tried to teach me how to roll a joint last night. It was such a failure. It was.
Oh, you should record that. That should be an episode.
It was like unbelievable. Like, and then because I ordered a box of rolling papers by mistake. I meant to order cones because I don't really know how to roll. So I gave it to my son. I'm like, this is like your inheritance. There's a lifetime supply of papers because I don't know what to do with them. So he's like, I'll teach you how to roll. But
Funny.
so,
Oh,
Joyce, did you start a club on Clubhouse?
no, I haven't done anything.
No. Okay.
I'll do a room first. I don't know, this whole, you know, I don't like the social media stuff. I know I have to be on it. Whatever, it's every day is like a new adventure. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I like the idea of talking about moms. I don't know if we have a name on it.
I'm kind of like playing around with the word of like momming and business life, mom and business and vulnerability. Like, let's get vulnerable, like being a mom.
That seems to be a very popular topic, so I would go with that. Yeah.
Momming and running a business or something. We can play around with titles and talk back and forth in the Slack and like come up with something, and I can schedule the room for you, and like, or for us both to co-moderate it, and then we can rock and roll.
Yeah, no, I
Except
never
for not roll paper, because
not rolling, rock and rolling, but maybe that should. All right, we'll think of something. How old your Christine? Other Christine, how old your little boy? Is that her son? Christine, is that a little boy?
Sorry, it got very loud here for a second. He's 2.5.
Oh wow.
I opened my studio when I was pregnant with him. It's been a quite. I thought that year was rough. This is not that. This is.
Yeah, I mean, I took the bar pregnant. That was my great accomplishment. But then I didn't have to run a business with him next to me every day. But you're doing it. I don't know. I talk about cannabis, building an industry that's, you know, woman caregiver friendly. You know, this seems to be maybe we should be talking about caregiving. I mean, this is the issue. We've just pretended like this world doesn't, like caregivers are, I don't know, we thought caregivers were like they were nothing, and we treat them like nothing, and we literally can't exist with them. And when I stopped being able to monetize my time because I had to caregive, it felt like I was stepping out of the real world. But the caregiving is the real world. That's the thing. This is like what I didn't understand, because I wanted to have a career. Like that was the idea. If I was going to live in the real world as a woman, I was going to have a career. And my mother was like, no, this is the real world. I'm like, that's not true. But it is. The caregiving is everything. And we have literally no backup in this world. All we have is moms, which is psychotic. So finally, everybody can see it. Like, I think people thought we were making it up when we were talking about it in my generation. I don't know, but people can, it's all exposed. You guys are out there. It's so hard. It is so hard. And what do you give up? But the caregiving has to be valued. I don't know what that topic is, but that's something, because it's on both ends. Like my mom's 85 now. That's, you know, we're dealing with her. So it just doesn't stop. And somebody has to do it. Kids don't raise themselves, and people don't end their lives alone. That's just the worst. So people have to caregive, and we have to give space for it.
Oh. I think caregiving during COVID.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it's both ends.
Balancing care and career with Joyce.
Doing very well, but yeah.
The answer, can a this?
Cannabis. It's the answer to everything lately. I'm like, just cannabis. Cannabis is like whatever, menopause, aging, motherhood, concrete. It's everything. Cannabis does everything
waking
from
up.
cosmetics to criminal justice.
Nuts. Well, I think we covered a lot of stuff. I can share some of these links that we've talked about, just like with audiograms and that recording app if you're interested, in the Slack, and I'll share this video link if you guys want to look at it for fun.
Mhm.
I really spy on my garage.
Your baby, your husband, we saw your whole life. You know?
I do have a quick question if you have a moment.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to start a club on Clubhouse, and you hopped on with Jenny and me the other day, and one thing that I think would be cool is to make it accessible because there are these 19 moms that are around the world that have these CHH babies, and it would be cool to have a forum for them to kind of get together and talk on Clubhouse. I don't know, I'm just kind of brainstorming, but how do I have to set up I have to be scheduling that room like through my club, and then allow them to moderate and be who they are, like
Well, you should probably moderate it and then bring everybody else up onto the stage so that they can have a conversation with each other.
and then just coordinate with one of them or a couple of them so that everybody knows that they're on.
Yeah. Are they all on Clubhouse?
No, I got two of them. I think two of them joined. And then a couple of them don't have iPhones, I believe. And so is Fireside supposed to be cross platform?
I don't know that much about it, except for it's a lot like Clubhouse.
Okay.
It seems very competitive.
Yeah.
Well, you could also do a Zoom. Like, do you do Zooms with them already?
I don't do Zooms with them already. I just figured Clubhouse would be faster and easier on the bandwidth and stuff like that. And I don't know. I feel like also when I've talked to the ones that I've talked to, I can hear their kids yelling and screaming in the background. And so it might be difficult to just kind of like sit down at a Zoom and
Yeah.
instead of just being able to kind of like roam around with your phone. I don't know.
My only worry is maybe they'll feel some sort of resistance to downloading a new thing and trying to learn a new thing.
Yeah.
Not that they can't, they for sure can, but it might be one more thing on their plate when they're not thinking about it and they've got other stuff. And a lot of people have been working on Zoom, acting on Zoom, talking on Zoom, and meetings with hundreds of people happen on Zoom. So I think that even if I had to go away or do something, I could do this and
Yeah.
look at clapping.
Wait, did you go in? That's some Clubhouse humor right there.
But
Okay.
I don't know. I imagine this
I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. Gotta go. This was good, Christine, and I'll
Yep.
follow. Good luck with your lunch, other Christine. And Christophe, a lot of Christophs, and I gotta change my name.
Yeah, you're right. Actually.
That's funny. All right, you guys have a great night.
Home.
Bye.
All right.
Cool. Oh.
It's you and me. I think they both left. I mean, we're over time, so but did that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is people can't really just stumble into that room and then connect to my Instagram if we're doing a private Zoom.
True. I think that okay, so this is to funnel them to your other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then just invite them, and if that's the reason why, people just make it happen on Clubhouse. And I mean, maybe even film yourself doing a little tutorial about how Clubhouse works, and that could be a fun way to engage with them. And
because I also don't want to be like tied to my computer to do like the Clubhouse stuff too. If I can be wherever I am, then that's all that much easier.
Yeah. This little girl is leapfrogging next to me.
She's so cute.
Thank you.
She's awesome.
Here she
Where-
goes. She hasn't quite crawled yet, but she like does mountain climbers. It's harder than crawling.
Really?
Yeah, she like does mountain climbers or leapfrogs.
That's amazing.
But no crawling. Do you feel like you got enough out of this today?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we scoot?
I don't think so. I mean, I can't believe I wrote as much as I did in such a short amount of time. So I feel really productive about that. I have a ton of stuff to do for my next episode and for the socials on this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got other work, but I feel now that I've got to get better at interviewing people for these types of things, because I spent so much time asking so many questions, and I still have to fill in with a couple other questions,
Mm-hmm.
like basic stuff that I just know that I'll use. But I don't know. You want to read my article before it goes live?
Sure, send it to me.
Okay, I'll send it to you after I get a final or a draft complete, and you can check it out.
All righty. Cool. Well, yeah, send it my way, and I'll send that intern sign up thing.
Yeah, I would be really interested in that. You know, I don't want to use it as something where it's just like, okay, take all this and go do this for me. I would rather like take all this. I want to see how you do it, and then, you know, add it into my own brain, and I'm more than happy to teach people stuff. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that having it's usually 8 to 10 hours a week. So like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, for free.
Oh my God.
for 3 to 5 months. So
And then what do you do for them afterward? You just like sign a piece of paper, or do you have to like write them a recommendation or write them a review or something like that?
it depends. I could onboard these interns and then like figure out who would be a good fit for who. And I could also like share resumes and stuff, but that's not really the same as like having a conversation with someone. So like based on like who's interested, like I'll figure that next step out. But yeah, what I would do is just kind of like give them some tasks, and if it's also something you already do and you like doing, or you've like already like got a system, you can just like write down your system and be like, okay, take like.
That means I have to come up with a system.
Yeah, so you'll have to come up with a system, write it down, let them know, okay, like this is what the graphics look like, these are what the audiograms look like, this is how I would like you to post on my social media. I don't want it to look like this. This is how I do want it to look. And just like let them know exactly what you want, so then they can just do it. Or if they like, because I've tested the whole like, let's see what the interns do and maybe I'll like it. Some interns might be good for that, some might not. So,
Okay.
So yeah, anyway. Yeah, I'll send that sign up sheet. I'll follow up with the link to this and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then wait, did I see no office hours on Thursday?
Yeah, I took them off the list because I feel like I just like, I'm not sure if it's something everybody wants. And so
I've talked to everybody. They all want it. They just don't show up at that time.
I think that it might be more like, because I'm trying to figure out like what is the best for everyone, like based on the surveys. So
did I give you a survey? I don't know if I gave you a survey.
So I think you did fill out a survey. So I'm just trying, like, I feel like moving forward, it might not be the best use of my time to regularly
Yeah.
to do 2 sessions a week. I was actually thinking about like maybe even cutting it down to 2 a month instead of like 1 a week. So anyway, we'll see. Right now, like I feel like people are enjoying at least the Tuesday session. People are more interested in the Tuesday session. So
I don't understand why people are crazy and don't want to show up to Thursday. 'Cause we are entertaining as hell.
There's some good stuff I feel like that we all learn. Something I wanted to mention that I didn't get to was Pod Page. So I've been testing Pod Page on behalf of a client whose podcast just launched, and we already have like email subscribers, and we
cool.
haven't even like done any PR or launch. Like people have just found it and then signed up, found the website, signed up for the email like newsletter that isn't even created. They're just signing up. So anyway, it's something that like if you're still looking at like maybe doing a podcast website specifically,
Yeah.
here I'll share with you what it is. Policinginamerica.com. So,
Oh, is this the thing that you're producing with Wondery?
no, this is an LAPD sergeant who is in charge of all the training, like the implicit bias trainings. It's a podcast about race and policing and having uncomfortable conversations to spark positive change in police policy. So, and it's led by like the officer who does the trainings, of all the LAPD.
Nice. That's awesome.
It's an interesting podcast. So yeah.
I really need to get my
But the investment of this website, even the pro website for him, I think is like $150 a year. So
does that include everything, hosting and security and
it's not hosting, it's
domain?
so he had to pay for the domain separately. But let me look at my messages with him. Maybe that in Slack. This is why I like Slack. I can just like see everything.
You've exposed me to so many incredible tools.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you like Slack?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's good. Slack is good. Google Docs.
Okay.
Google Sheets. I need to watch your organizational thing again. Why do I not get myself organized? I feel like I'm wasting so much time.
Because you have it in your head. So for him, all of the stuff he paid for, so for this website and to have it connected to for his website for the whole year, for it to look the way it does and for it to automatically update and like collect email addresses and everything, is $180 a year.
So,
okay. So that on top of his media hosting expenses, on top of his domain purchase is $393. So almost $400
a year.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of like the overall yearly budget for him.
Is that like
media hosting, domain, and
when you have a podcast, I mean, is that like money well spent having $400 a year for your website if the majority is kind of like tied to social media and other things? I just feel like that's a ton of money to spend for just a little bit of extra information.
Well, a website is like the place you need a place to consistently to direct people to, and if you want to like do big things with it, for some people it might just be a Facebook group, right? But like also you don't own Facebook. He owns this website. So every single person that like comes to the website like he can start tracking them, whether they sign up or not, and then retargeting him if he starts to pay for ad spend at some point to get higher visibility. So
That makes sense.
it's just like his home base, and he needs a place because he's not super active on any social media, for him to professionally have a place for people to come and engage with him that's not super public, right? So it could be different for him than
Different shows.
you, just because of the
Okay, that makes sense.
the type of podcast he has. And he also doesn't want to like incite riots. like some of the stuff they talk about is like kind of like, whoa. So, oh shit, shoot. I had another call that I forgot about. I gotta go.
We'll surf on Thursday instead of office hours. See ya.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.